I have a question for you, Captain.
Hmm.
The Roughneck Regiment, it's obviously a very ground floor rolling out in 2024,
Hmm.
organizing, and will see exponential growth. There's already tens and tens of thousands of people that are quote signed up, enlisted. How's that?
Yeah,
Enlisted.
yeah,
How
yeah,
volunteer.
yeah.
Very direct question. Very direct question.
Hmm.
Everything I'm sensing, these are generally military vets and the like, or
Hmm.
your group of folks, guys and gals.
Yeah.
Will they have an active role or be willing to take an active role in protecting U.S. citizens? You know what people forget
Hmm.
so often? People forget that after a legitimate election in 2016, where a
Hmm.
president was legitimately elected, Donald Trump, and fair and square, no Russia collusion.
Hmm.
People don't realize our cities burned the next day,
Sure.
protesting a legitimate election. I'm going to just toss it out there. Turn the mic
Yeah.
over to you and give me your
Yeah.
thoughts.
Well, the Obama Marxists were very mad about that. They wanted to, they wanted a Hillary Clinton presidency, which would have been a disaster. You know, um, it would have been a disaster. And any time that you get a group of socialists, Marxists, communists, and look, it all leads to communism. Let me just tell you, it starts as socialism. It starts as let's just try to help each other out, and then it just kind of bleeds over into this. Um, they get mad, they destroy, they burn. Okay, you want to see the history of communism? Go look at Red October. Go look and see what they did to the czar and his family. Go look and see what they did. You've watched the movie about Anastasia. That was very real. They murdered these people. The Russians were horrible people. They were terrible people to deal with in World War II as well. If you study the history, they were as bad as the Nazis, and in some cases worse than the Nazis. And the problem that we had is that we had our back against the wall, and there was deals that were made. But look at all the Poles that the Russians murdered. Look, look, the war in Ukraine right now, a war of Russian aggression, where they came in, they've invaded. I'm not for giving Ukraine unlimited money and all of this stuff, but I hope Ukraine can push them out. I mean, they're obviously killing a lot of Russians, in the midst of this. But the point that I want to make is that yes, every American should take an active role in defending their nation. As I told you, the Japanese, when they looked at an all-out invasion for America, they said, we better rethink this. When they bombed Pearl Harbor, they said that we've woke the sleeping dragon. And that's true. They woke up a sleeping dragon, and look what happened. We started. It was a long and brutal war, and at the end of the day, we dropped 2 atomic weapons on Japan that saved lives, but we were willing and committed to do it to end the war. They had no desire to invade the coastal parts of America because they knew that everywhere that a Japanese soldier popped his head up, some hillbilly like myself or somebody else would be behind a rock or a stone or a tree and would be taken off their head with a rifle, because that's what Americans do. That's what we need to do. And there's no shame in saying you will defend your country. My God, the U.S. Army sent me to war for 26 freaking months. Okay. 26 months. I was decorated, 5 different times under fire, wounded 3 different times under fire. Never did they ever say, oh, take it easy on the enemy. It never was told to me that way. The only place that's told to is here, that somehow, I've got to be okay with somebody burning down my city because they're doing it in the name of Antifa, Black Lives Matter, or some other, or Donald Trump won the election. Oh my God, it's just a disaster. The whole country is going to become fascist and blah, 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 blah. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen, folks. So what I'm telling you is that we as the American people, we need to wake up, listen, look around, see what's going on around you. Let's not get into a big tribal warfare with people. Look, if I can have a civil conversation, I'd rather have a civil conversation. But right now, the